Welcome back, everyone. Today's guest is Suresh with Jets MRO. Suresh, can you go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience and tell us what you do?
Yes, Suresh Narayanan, Jets MRO founder and CEO, and we do aircraft maintenance on business jets, and we specialize on Challenger, Citations, and Learjet platforms.
Okay. So you've had a fascinating path from operations and modifications to launching Jets MRO. What was the moment you decided the industry needed something different, and how did that shape the founding vision?
When I realized that maintenance, in the aircraft world, obviously it's a huge need. You can't live without it. It's like fuel. I realized that the in the business jet world, we couldn't get our aircraft out of maintenance on time, and I started digging into what was going on, and I heard about a labor shortage as an excuse, and then I started digging into it even more, and I realized that most shops in our industry have turnover rates about 50%, 50. And I go, that's as much of a problem as a labor shortage. So I decided to start a business based off the principle if you could recruit and retain really good aircraft mechanics, they don't leave, and you keep voluntary turnover low, we could deliver better planes on time. So that's the whole premise of the business.
Okay, when you launched Jets MRO at Dallas Executive Airport, what was the biggest operational pain points you aimed to fix that you experienced elsewhere?
Operational pain, which we're scaling up, but it's, for me, it's always people. So, how do I get the right team together? I always say hiring is a guessing game. Firing as you know. And so when you hire a new team in a new business, you hear a lot of people talk about, man, this sounds awesome. You're a new business. I get to help grow a company, and it sounds exciting, but it's actually really painful and challenging in a whole different way than joining a company that's maybe been operational for 20 years and you just plug in and go do a job they have defined for you. And so trying to grow the right team is really hard in a newer business because you got to have folks that know how to create ways of doing things versus just coming in and saying, how do you want me to do it? And so I'd say
Hmm.
that was the hardest, most focus for me is trying to build the right team. I continue to focus on that and make sure we have folks that, yes, want to grow with a newer business, which is exciting, but then know how to create, will be successful, and help us keep growing as a young business. So I'd say that was the hardest thing.
Okay. So your facility was purpose-built for efficiency, and you've emphasized the mechanic experience. How much of your competitive advantage today comes from culture, people, versus hangar infrastructure or technology?
All people. We could do exactly what we're doing anywhere in the US in any decent hangar. The facilities add to our professionalism, what we're trying to do. It's a large new facility built for maintenance. So yes, it's nice to have that for maintenance. But my belief is still any maintenance company, it's all about the people. So if you took the same exact team and put them somewhere else, I don't think they would lose a step. I think you can give me any domicile or facility that and we would be able to be successful. I would still focus on the people 100% of the time. But yeah, the
Mhm.
facility is nice to have. It doesn't hurt us. It's comfortable in the summers when it's hot in Texas. Like those things matter, and they do matter to our team. So I want them to be comfortable. But
Mhm.
they're very much secondary to who the team is and how they work together.
Okay. With the growing demand for MRO services and aging fleets, how do you prioritize mix business between heavy checks, line maintenance, modifications, and new services?
We focus on scheduled maintenance only. So most of our business is focused on heavy scheduled maintenance. So most of our customers will fly our planes to us from all over the US to get a good maintenance slot that delivers on time. And then we try not to be too much to everyone. So we specialize in certain aircraft. I said before, Challenger, Citation, Learjets.
Hmm.
I'm not a fan of not specializing. So we're really good at those. And then we're really good at scheduled maintenance. There's other great companies we use to do different subsegments, whether it's like interior upgrades or like the line maintenance, like AOG stuff on the road. There's other companies built for that and specialize in that are better than us at it. So we lean on them for that. But for like what we do and focus on, all our customers are coming to us for heavy scheduled maintenance on those specific aircraft.
Okay, so you emphasize mechanic retention and low turnover rate, turnover culture. As you scale, what do you see as the risk to operational consistency, and how will you protect your service quality while growing?
Making sure we hire, we have one of our values is culture over experience. And, I learned that even in this business, building a team together is so much important than throwing a bunch of experience together. I play a lot of sports. I love basketball, and I equate like basketball and business for me. Like it connects for me, and so it's not about just throwing a bunch of great individuals together and seeing how it works. And so to scale this, I really put a big focus on how are they going to be a culture fit and how are we going to help them get to their goals and make sure they're happy here too. It's not a one-way street where we look at employees as what you can do for me. I really look at it as what can we do for you guys as a team. And part of
Hmm.
that is making sure as we hire more folks, they help the team be better and they enjoy each other. Like that does matter because you're around your teammates so much of the week that we've terminated people for not being culture fits or affecting others in a negative way. And so we don't have it perfect, but we try to focus on making sure we mitigate our risk on hires. Because, like I said, it's hiring for me. It's a guessing game. It is for everyone, but firing is knowing, right? And so I think that continues to be our emphasis. What tools can we bring in to mitigate that risk, challenge folks so we know if they're going to be a good fit to the team, not just an individual all star.
Okay. Some market segments are entering headwinds, while others are very active. What segment do you see as the highest growth for you in the next 3 to 5 years?
There's not enough capacity, right? The next 10 years, we're losing capacity in the MRO space and business jets. So there's no new capacity coming. It didn't matter if I had $1 trillion, I can't just create the new capacity we need in the next 10 years.
Hmm.
So I think we're in a great spot. We're in the middle of the country. We're doing this professionally. Our customers are needing professional resources like us. As long as we don't lose sight of our values and we can retain people and do what we say we're going to do, I think we'll be able to continue to grow and help be part of that capacity. But there's way too much demand over capacity. And so a lot of what we focus on, most of my time is actually spent saying no, because
Hmm.
people with other aircraft types will be like, I need help. I can't find space anywhere. And we have to be like, hey, we're not good at that aircraft model. We're really good at these and sticking to it. And it's hard to say no to sales. So I think continuing to just be disciplined about that with the people approach and what we're good at is going to be important to keep consistently growing.
Okay. All right. So when a new client drops off into your hangar for a modification or heavy check, what are the biggest unknowns you face? Parts readiness, engineering changes, certification, or turnaround risk?
I think just the communication process is important because these planes are coming earlier. So we try to do a pre-indoc meeting. If it's a new customer, we spend the most time with them to make sure we streamline the process. If it's an operator, we actually, before a plane comes, we'll try to send folks to their operation to document how they manage aircraft, release them to service. That way, the first project with us or first big project isn't the first project. Like we've seen how they like to function before. So I think it's the planning piece and then the communication piece. Really, this is the scope of work. This is the timeline for inspection. This is the communication cadence. We have all that in writing and we define that out for the customer. I think that's super important. All the stuff during the technical check, parts, things, and all that. Yeah, you want to plan for it, but I think it's secondary compared to how you plan for what's coming with the customer, who really just needs to know when are they getting their aircraft back to go sell that capacity. So it's really important. I think that conversation.
Okay. So if you had a magic wand and want to transform one internal process, whether it's data management, parts, logistics, reporting, technician training, what would you pick and what difference would that make?
I think it's our hiring screening process. Like I said, if I can get that to be better and better, and I don't have the answer for it, to where for candidates who want to work here and for us hiring, where they know who we are as quick as possible to make sure we're a good fit for them, but also for us to say this is a higher likelihood of them liking working here and being an asset to the team. That's the process and change and innovation we really look at is how to do that screening. How do we value test them? Um, you know, Bringing AI tools. We use that a lot for values quizzes, and they're hard quizzes to really say objectively, are they going to be a good fit? It's not perfect, but that's for me. Like if I could wave a wand and get that like 90% accurate to say like these screening tools really have panned out because 90% of our new hires have stuck because they've been good fits, that would be awesome. I
Mm,
think that's like the thing that everyone would love to figure out, and that's what I focus on.
okay. So looking at the next 5 to 10 years, how do you see the business jet MRO space evolving?
I think people need to not just do what we're doing, but they got to change. And I think change our industry has been stagnant. The last 20 years, not much has changed in biz jet MRO, but the way we use the aircraft has changed dramatically. People are flying and accessing jets quicker and for more hours than ever before. So utilization is going up. Older aircraft are flying longer, but us on the maintenance side, we haven't really matured much. There's not been huge changes in the industry. So I think the push is how are we going to professionalize the biz jet industry? And I take a lot of professional practices from the commercial airline world because it's a very mature professional environment. I think others on scale are going to say, who's taking that level of professionalism and detail oriented excellence into biz jet? Whoever's going to do that's going to win long term. And so we look at ways of doing that as a smaller, newer business. But that's going to be the key to everyone's success is who actually does that.
Okay. All right. So what role do you want Jets MRO to play in the future?
You said what role?
Hmm.
I'm hoping because we're really open about our focus on people. I'm hoping it's not our competitive advantage, but it's the values and focus on people as an industry. I hope people take that from us, and whether it's they start asking their employees more questions or they look at their pay scales. I hope people take what we're doing well and they actually look at their own teams better on industry. Like I hope turnover as an industry goes down because we're just focused on mechanics more and realize they're a finite resource. There's not many coming back in. There's a lot leaving. If we have that influence on the industry, I'll be happy. I think I know we'll be successful as Jets MRO doing what we're doing, but I'm hoping to create more dialogue between our maintenance industry partners to just do better by the mechanics in our industry and make it an industry they come and stay into.
Okay. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. Last question. For other entrepreneurs or operators in the aviation maintenance space who are trying to build a business that's not just operationally solid but future ready, what one piece of advice would you give them today?
Find good partners. I think I have great investors and partners that support the long-term vision. I think it's super important. I think entrepreneurs in aviation, there's a lot of single run shops or founder run shops. And I don't want to be a founder run shop. So I bring in a leadership team, I bring in peers, I listen to the others. I know a lot about certain things and I don't know a lot about other things.
Mhm.
And if you want to actually scale any business of importance, I think to be vulnerable enough to say, like right off the bat, here's what I don't know. Let me bring some good people around me, whether it's an advisory board early on, which like we're working on now, and we're just approaching year two. Investors, partners, peers, mentors, super important, I think. And not enough people do that or are open enough to do that, especially in aviation. Everyone thinks you got to be the smartest, you got to know it all. And I'm like, no, let's be honest that we can't know everything. And I would say my network is the most powerful tool I have is there's people I can talk to and learn from because I don't have the answer.
All right. That was awesome. So, any last questions you want to, or anything else you want to leave with the audience before we wrap it up? We end of the recording.
No, no, just make sure you have good mentors and peers around you in business. You'll be successful, I promise.
All right. Well, this was Suresh Narayanan with Jets MRO. Thank you all for watching. Go to end the recording.